Welcome to issue 3 of the Bansko Buzz newsletter audio form. If Carlsberg did a Clean the Mountain project, it would probably be the best in the world. If you remember the Carlsberg ads about being the best in the world, they did a lot of different ones, then it'll make sense. If not, and you're not sure, then there's a link here that you can click through. We've linked through to a YouTube video of an example advert. The Pirinsko brand in Bulgaria is owned by Carlsberg, so it made sense then to set up a project to clean the mountain up in the Pirin Mountains. It's been in a few different towns, and Bansko is included in one of those towns. It made even more sense for them to offer free beer, obviously, and then some branded merchandise as well to participants. Obviously, you only get the beer if you're 18 or over. So yesterday, Saturday, there were 2 locations in Bansko where you could help with the project, either at the Eco Park entrance or at Bansko Hut. The project is continuing Bansko, so if you did miss out, then it's going to continue on Saturday the 17th at both Bansko Hut and Damjanitsa Hut. So if you did miss out, not to worry, then there's an opportunity then to help and get something in return. You'll be given a sack like these 2 guys, refuse sack, garbage bag, whichever you want to call it, and then as long as you're 18 or over, you'll get a Pirinsko beer, and then you'll get a form of merchandise, assuming it'd be like keyring, hats, those types of things. And then there's another one after Saturday the 17th, beyond Saturday the 31st of August. That's just at the Eco Park on that point. If you want all the information and dates and locations, etc., there's even locations outside of Bansko, then give a tap on that link. Oh yeah, and as well, this wasn't the original story that was going to go with. It was going to go with there's been a robbery in Bansko. And if you didn't hear about it, then we'll cover that in the local municipality news section. Inside the Bansko Notice Board group, this week there were 74 new posts, 405 comments and 2,467 reactions. Yeti posted that she got some raspberries from the local market in the square, or near the square, and she found some white worms in her raspberries. That's kind of annoying, but not unusual, right? A few people had some different advice for her. If she gets that again. A lot of people said they would wash their fruit, etc. I think some popular choices are vinegar in water, obviously, and then some bicarbonate soda or baking soda, whichever you call it, it's all the same, just to get those critters and dirt and whatever out of your fruit and veggies. Kevin posted that the local municipality is planning to ban the dumping of anything other than household waste around bin areas. So you know where any of the bins are, whether you're in a big apartment building and there's the big massive bins, or you've just got the smaller wheelie bins outside your place, then they're looking to ban any like white goods that are going to be dumped there. Obviously people put them there because then the Bansko Fairers, we all know those people that like the metal, they come and collect it at some point. Sometimes it's same day, sometimes it's next day, if you leave it outside. But the municipality doesn't want that, understandable. But we're still waiting for official announcement. So kind of at the moment it's a rumour. So if you want to go and read about that, you can do. Alison is coming back later this year, and she's thinking about exploring and hiking around Banya and Rila, so including Belitsa and Yakaruda. So she wanted some opinion. She asked for advice, just a little bit out of Bansko. A few people offered some information and information on stuff that they've done in the past. So if you want to go and read that, you can do. Jason posted that he was wondering if there's anywhere that's the best place to get an e-bike. He'd previously rented from a local company in town, but they're no longer doing e-bikes anymore. So he wanted to know where people would suggest. There were a few suggestions. Pretty sure one of them was into Bansko, which is just near Happy End, down from the gondola. Literally virtually at a gondola, really. So they're quite popular, actually. Good company as well. If you're not part of the Bansko Notice Board Facebook group, tap on this link and you can go through and join. The local municipality news. A woman was robbed while she was walking in Bansko. So on Friday the 2nd of August, a woman was walking home alone in the evening when a 37-year-old male stopped her and demanded that she handed over the money that she had in her possession, which was 2,500 leva, so about €1,200, dollars, etc. It was in the Billa area, so down around about bottom end of town. He was arrested by local police the following Monday. He was charged and his file has been sent to the prosecutor. In one of the news stories, it did appear that he knew that she had that money on her. So that's the reason why he then obviously stopped her and demanded that she give him the money. How he knew, I don't know. There's not that much detail. But obviously, it's, Bansko's kind of like really safe to live in, visit, etc. Obviously, there's a little bit more crime when there's more tourists here, because obviously there's then more foreigners with perceived more amount of cash, valuables, watches, etc. So there's going to be obviously more criminals coming to town. But in general, Bansko is quite safe. So it is kind of a thing that this happened. But it kind of seems of one of those things that it's not kind of like the person kind of knew that she had the money and then actually went and robbed her, right? It wasn't an opportunist thing of just give me all your money and your phone and stuff like that. He knew she had that cash, therefore he wanted that cash. So yeah, if you want to read it, then you'll need translation in your browser or your phone. But there's a link there. The hub has closed now until December. They were originally planning to open throughout summer, but then have decided not to. They'll be back in December, fair enough. So if you do want 2 for 1 cocktails and, cheaper drinks and stuff, and karaoke and stuff like that, then you're probably going to have to find somewhere else, unfortunately. Pivoteca celebrated their second birthday on Thursday. So Pivoteca Craft Mountain Beer Base celebrated their second birthday, the first craft beer shop in town. Lots of people turned up and they were given a complimentary glass of Prosecco by one of the team. If you are used to craft beer and you went to Pivoteca when they first opened, whether it was first few weeks, months, etc., they had a beer called Liquid Cocaine, 9%. Blooming high is that, right? From Hungary. And they put it back on draft this week. So they had it when they first opened on pump number 6. Pretty sure it went back on pump number 6 or pump number 5. So they've got that back on. So if you do it, it's a strong beer, let's say, if you're drinking it, obviously. Have 2 of them and yeah, that's your night done really, isn't it? Former army barracks to be developed. So 12 years ago, the Ministry of Defence in Bulgaria transferred the former army barracks to Bansko municipality. The total area there is about 200 square metres, and the development that they've put together, it's still in its initial planning stages, but they're thinking that they're going to be having a sports hall, a fitness centre, a spa, a stadium, not sure what that means on size of the stadium, a medical centre, parking for 700 cars, kind of need it when you've got all those amenities around there, right? A swimming pool, a skate park, tennis courts, and then some other smaller projects. Most of it is still in its initial planning stage, but it does seem as though they're wanting to push quite a few things through the approval process. So, maybe it won't be so long until there's some substantial buildings over there, let's say. So obviously, with 12 years since the Ministry of Defence handed it over to Bansko, hopefully then it doesn't take another 12 years for everything else to be developed. If you want to read the story, there's a link that you can click on there. Banderitsa lifts 1 and 2 have now closed. They had their last operational day today. They should now remain closed until the start of the winter season, which will be in middle December. But obviously, I've said here, don't be surprised if Bansko just suddenly think to open those lifts again, because sometimes they do close them and they say, no, and they're not opening again, and then they suddenly open 3 days later or something. So it happens. Just to remind you that the gondola will be still in continuous movement from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. every single day until the 8th of September. And then at the end of summer, then it'll close until winter. It'll just go back to once up, once down, Monday, Friday. But I'll tell you about that in a later issue. Supporting local charities in Bansko. There's 3 charities that do great work in Bansko and the surrounding areas. So how about we support them? If you get any leather, pounds or euros, then feel free to click on any of these links. The 3 charities are Sunflower. They continuously support the 4 safety homes in Bansko, the dementia home in Mesta, this centre for people with special needs, apologies, I can't pronounce that, and they're currently focusing on 20 to 25 elderly vulnerable adults living on their own and in need of upgrades, food and warmth. Obviously warmth, it gets like -15, -18 in Bansko at night time, then it can be quite cold. so understandable. Bansko Street Dogs. Bansko Street Dogs helps the street dogs in Bansko and then surrounding towns as well through emergency care, neutering, flea and tick treatment, and the setting up of feeding stations as well as kennels for new puppies, etc., to keep them dry, warm, and well nourished. They're currently inundated with many different litters of puppies being dumped in Bansko. Unfortunately, it is a bit of a hot place for popular place for puppies to be dumped is Bansko. So you might see them showing lots of different pictures of disease testing and stuff like that. And the Mountain Rescue Service. Mountain Rescue in Bansko are always there to help. If you're injured or you got difficulties when you're hiking this summer up in the mountain, and then they'll probably call if you go on 112. And they're mostly made up of volunteers. They'll respond literally 24/7. So 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They'll hike up to rescue you. It doesn't matter what the weather conditions are. And then if they need it, then they will request the helicopter to come and transport you to Sofia or wherever for medical treatment if you need it. They do rely on donations. At the moment, they're wanting to update their equipment, and they also need donations to rent this record tracking gear. It helps with them locating people that are in remote areas, obviously above Bansko, Pirin Mountains, a lot of different areas, a lot of forest and stuff like that. So if you do have any pounds, leather or euros, then feel free to click or tap on any of these links and send them some their way. Events coming up next week. Bansko Street Dogs pub quiz is back after a short break. It's on Monday, 7:30 at Four Directions. Nice place. Entry fees are £5 per person, and then Four Directions are going to contribute 10% of the revenue that they take on that night to the charity as well. There's lots of fun, and you'll meet lots of different types of people. If you want any more information, you can click on this link. The Festival of Bulgarian Pop Music is coming up on from Thursday the 15th to Saturday the 17th. There are a number of performers of Bulgarian pop music that are going to be taken to the main stage in Bansko. That's in the main square. And they include DG Duet on the Thursday, the band Horizon on the Friday, and Yordanka Hristova on the Saturday. All of those nights start at 8 p.m. in the main square in Bansko. If you want any more information about the different singers, you can click or tap on that link. Demonstration of local trade and handicrafts. They're outside the Tourist Information Centre in Bansko, which is near the Old Trinity Church. That's between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. on Friday. On Friday, they're going to be doing wood carving, and then on Saturday, they're going to be doing crochet. Remember that on Saturdays, so between 5 and 7, they're going to have the display of the trade and handicrafts, but then between 6 and 6:30 on the Saturday, there's going to be some live folk music as well. It's always outside the Tourist Information Centre in Bansko, so you'll literally hear, if you're there on the Saturday, you'll hear people anyway and see people, but then obviously if you're there between 6 and 6:30, you'll hear the music as well. Mariana Stefanova is bringing her Escape from Reality abstract art exhibition to Bansko. This is taking place on Saturday between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m, Sunday between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m, Monday between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m, and then Tuesday between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. in this week coming up, and that's at the Tourist Information Centre in Bansko as well. So remember, Tourist Information Centre is near the Big Tree and Trinity Church. Weather forecast. It's staying a little bit warm, but we can see there's unpredictability coming up. So maybe there's going to be thunderstorms, who knows. Obviously this week just gone, it wasn't 100% accurate, which is normal for Bansko. We did have a thunderstorm on Friday afternoon. Unfortunate, it happens. We might be in summertime, but it's a mountain town, so sometimes it happens. The best app to have on your phone for a predictable forecast that isn't going to be 100%, but it's going to be fairly accurate, is Meteo Blue. So go and download that app if you want to have it on your phone, etc. Before you go, if you know someone that should be reading the Bansko Buzz, then forward this email to them, or send them the subscribe link, or you can also direct them to go on Google banskobuzz.com. If you want to add an event or a news item to next week's Bansko Buzz, then send us the info by this form. There's a a link there that you can click or tap on. And also remember that banskobuzz.com is where you can sign up for the weekly newsletter for Bansko in Bulgaria, bringing you news, events and happenings in town every Sunday by email.